I've gotten in a couple car. This sounds bad, but I've gotten in a couple car accidents, but they've never been bad. They've never been
You
like
as driver?
even that dramatic. Yes.
All of them?
This also is exposing me just for my driving. I mean, the quick synopsis is in 2020, March of 2020, I was at a red light, literally ran into the car in front of me just for no reason other than I wasn't paying attention. And I totaled my car because of it.
Oh,
so annoying. It was the white one. It was the white one. It was the white one.
The Mennonite driver's or license plate with the little
Yeah,
dove.
it was Virginia was for lovers.
Oh, you
Isn't that
know
what
it.
said?
It was, but
It was Virginia.
it said
for
that, but it
lovers.
also
It was
had
both
the
ends.
bird on it, the dove.
The Mennonite dove.
Yeah.
And I mean, the funny thing was, I went to like work out in the morning. I was like on my way home. Literally, I kid you not, this was my mentality. I was at the light, looked around, I looked forward, and I saw the car in front, like 2 cars in front start going, and I was like, surely the car in front of me is going. It wasn't. Ran into her. We pulled off, the cops came, and come to find out, the girl that I hit, I kid you not, same exact story. She had a car that was like, she was like from Maryland or something at that point. So her license plate was Maryland. She was insured under her parents. So that was a whole thing. And I, at the time, had a Virginia plate that was also insured to my parents at the time, because I didn't go through all the things to get it in the North Carolina everything yet. So it was like very confusing. And she also was coming home from the gym. So it was like a whole thing. We were pretty much like on the same wavelength. In my head, I was like, I hope you don't like want to get the cops involved before, but she was like, no, I do, because her car was fine. My car was totaled. So it was just one of those. It was annoying. I didn't have a car during all of the middle of COVID, so I did go crazy because I couldn't leave, even if I wanted to go for a drive.
Yeah.
I think I went crazy. I drank a lot of tequila. Neither here nor there.
I think everybody did.
A lot of tequila. I put tequila, actually.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Yeah,
I had
true.
a car.
Everyone became borderline alcoholics.
It's fine. Colton.
Come. Hello. Yeah, we haven't fully started yet. We're talking about
Does
car
he know all
accidents.
your car
Does he know all the car accidents that you caused?
I think so. He's gaming with
what
his
game
friends.
is he playing? Noah's gaming
there.
too.
Ooh, what game are you playing? Valorant.
Oh, okay. Noah's playing Rocket League.
My husband is currently on
Is he playing Clash of Clans?
Maps. No, Bryce is currently playing on Maps.
Playing on maps? Like Apple Maps?
No, here's
Playing
why.
on
why I'm saying yes. Apple Maps. Here's why I'm saying playing.
Actually, you don't even have to explain because it's Bryce.
I know. The man is probably
I'm
on
dead.
Zillow, looking
stop
at houses
it.
and then opening maps so he can figure out what location it is, and he's just gonna go back and forth.
He needs to get Google Earth so he can like travel the streets.
No, you can do street. I mean, you can kind of do
Google
Street View
Earth
a
is
little bit now, more with
amazing.
Apple.
Oh, you kind of can.
But like anytime we're watching anything and he sees over here in this, he will if he pulls out his phone, he's going to look up the location. He just wants to know where everything's at. That's a game for him. So yeah, he's gaming on Apple Maps.
Real quick. So then in August, I ran into someone at Trader Joe's, and that's it. That's pretty much it. So I didn't have a car. I got a car, and then I hit someone
In
in Trader
August?
Joe's, but
That
it was
next
half and half.
August?
Oh yeah, the following August. So 2020 wasn't a good year for me. And
Wow.
driving. I did not total that, thankfully, but I did lose a mirror.
you were being so cautious
And,
with
yeah.
germs and staying 6 feet apart that
Yeah.
you were not cautious in
Yeah.
driving. It was like
Correct.
compensating.
I wore my mask everywhere I went, but then I got in some wrecks. But anyways, that's I also hit my high school friend's grandma one time in her car, but I kind of forget about that sometimes.
I did actually. Well, I kind of lied. I mean, I hit somebody. The police didn't come. I gently tapped them in the back. And guys, I wasn't even on my phone. Let me tell you what I was doing though. I had just gone to Starbucks and I got one of those overnight oats.
Ooh, yeah.
And then you get the almond slivers on top, and then
Were
you
you
So
doing
I was
well?
in the process of putting that together as I was driving.
Tell me, was your knee involved in the steering wheel?
Actually, both my hands were off the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Anyway.
it was fully knee.
So I was like looking up, and I'm like, not in like stop and go traffic, but like definitely not going the speed limit because we're just kind of like going back and forth. So I put the I put the almond slivers on, and then I look up.
Tap.
Oops.
Did you
And
even
so-
get out?
So we did pull over and we looked off to the side, and
Yeah,
literally
did
the back
they?
of her
Oh,
car
okay.
was just like, it was dusty on the back of her car, and you could see the outline of my front license plate
dust.
from the dust.
What?
Stop.
And I went, oh my goodness, I am so sorry.
Did she just let you go?
I don't even know what to say. And she's like, she had just taken off her headrest protector thing because she had just gotten in a really bad accident.
Oh.
And so even that little bit of a tap could have been
that's
detrimental. But literally, guys,
Yeah.
I can't even emphasize how tiny of a tap it was because her I could see a head as it was happening,
like,
and her head didn't even really go back at all. It was just like,
wow.
boop. I don't know.
She was like, "Thanks for cleaning part of my car."
So she said to me, she goes, I can't call my dad about this again. And then she goes, oh, can you just promise me that you're going to be a better driver? And I went, yes, I promise you I will.
That's so good.
And then that was it. And I've held
Not the
to my promise. So if you're out there listening and you got tapped on Commercial Street in Salem, Oregon, that was me. My bad.
Hey, it's Casey,
I'm Meredith.
And this is Kiera.
and we're 3 best friends in a long-distance relationship.
We've learned some valuable lessons along the way over the last 10 years of being friends.
Now let's get to it because
Hi, guys. Welcome to the 6th episode of the It's Forever Been For. Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa. I know the name. It's Been
Yeah.
Forever podcast. I'm Kiera.
I'm Casey.
and I'm Meredith.
And yeah, we're so
Welcome.
excited that you're here. If you're still here, wow. Just literally
Thank
why.
you.
But thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Not you saying why.
I think, okay, so we're going to be super duper honest with you guys because we're all about honesty.
We
We
love
love
authentic.
honesty.
This is the second time we're doing this because someone was having.
Gonna be honest,
Okay.
my Wi-Fi
Yeah, it was
sucks
her.
at my
It was
house, so it was bad.
It was her. It was all
It was
her.
Kiera.
It was all her.
I'll admit it was my fault.
It was not Kiera. It was Kiera's Wi-Fi.
It was Kiera.
Blame
Thank
the
you.
tech.
Thank
not
you.
the
Yeah,
person.
Casey's like blame her.
I just feel bad.
I
Well,
don't.
I mean,
Yeah.
to be honest, when we had previously recorded this with bad Wi-Fi, I just had an off day already, so it was just one
Yeah.
thing after the other. But good news is today I took a 2-hour
Mhm.
nap and I'm
She's
feeling good.
super good.
So
Yeah,
I'm ready
and
to
Take
rock.
on the world.
She's at another house where there's
Mhm.
better Wi-Fi, and so
Exactly.
here we are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So welcome back.
So, before we get started, you guys, Bryce and I, every Tuesday we go to a cute little taco stand that is super near our apartment. Okay. And they
Oh.
make tacos outside. It's super authentic street tacos. It's amazing. And we go with another couple who's moving to Hawaii. We're okay. We're like super happy for them, but like we're depressed for ourselves. Anyway,
That sucks. Yeah.
we live in an
Yeah.
apartment complex. On our way over to the tacos, because we walk because it's super close, there's this little like lowish area that's not mowed. Okay. And so I'm like, oh, that's weird. And Bryce is like, I wonder why they didn't mow that. You guys know Bryce is obsessed with mowing. And so he's like, man, if I was on the maintenance team, I'd mow that yard. I'm like, all right, keep yourself together. And so we're just like, I wonder why they didn't mow it. That's weird. And I was like, yeah, I wonder if it's like a marsh or something. And so then we started talking about, like, well, what even is a marsh? And then we're like, well, if it's a wet area, how's that different than a swamp? So we got in this really big discussion of what's a marsh and what's a swamp. So we did eventually look it up, but I would love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions
Our
on a
definitions
swamp versus a marsh.
versus marsh.
For me, it's the sound my foot makes when I enter it.
All right.
Like if
Wait, I kind of love
I'm
that.
stepping into a marsh, I'm thinking like it's mainly grass, but it's soggy, like a wet sponge that's
Ooh,
fully
okay, I
saturated.
love that.
So when you step on it, it goes.
Gross.
You know?
Okay.
you like that?
Kira?
I mean,
But if it's like
disgusting,
what was the other
A
one? A
swamp.
swamp. If it's a swamp, it's kind of just like a muddy pond.
Okay.
So you step in it and it's a splash, but your foot goes underwater and it gets stuck in the mud where you have to like suck, like it like almost
Yeah.
suctions and you have to really
Yeah.
pull
So
it
we
out.
did use Shrek. We
Does that
used
make
Shrek as like, okay, what's a swamp versus like a marsh type of
Oh,
thing.
yeah, that's a good point.
But Kira, I'd love to give you a chance to answer before I
Oh,
read the
gosh.
definition for you guys.
Okay. I mean, this is funny just to see how all of our brains work, but I think of the size of the area. Like in my mind, a swamp is like a contained like smaller area, and a marsh could be like miles and miles and miles of like of a
Oh.
swamp. I don't know if that's accurate or not.
However, in Minecraft, the swamplands are they're big.
They are big. Oh shoot. So I don't know. I can't even give you like a full on definition if I'm being I did do a swamp tour once when I was in Louisiana. I don't know if you guys have ever done this. It's like you get in a little boat and you kind of go and like see alligators and
I don't know why, but I was
and the
expecting like a
swampies.
realtor to be with you, like a
Oh.
tour. Like I was for some reason like Selling Sunset came in my head.
Why would they be in
Oh,
Louisiana?
wow.
Tour. I don't
Wow,
know.
They have no business
me
being
a
there.
realtor in
Selling
Louisiana
swampland.
in Baton Rouge. I would
Coming
watch
to
that.
Netflix summer 2024.
Oh no, it was like a little paid experience
That's
thing,
so
and you kind
cute.
of
Yeah, that's
it
fun.
was legit cool, but I wouldn't know how to describe it though.
Okay,
So,
so
what is the
do you
what
guys
is
want to
the-
know
tell
what
us?
swamp is first or a marsh?
I'm
Okay, so
indifferent.
we're gonna start with
swamps?
marsh. Smarsh. Okay, swamp. We're gonna start with
Hello.
swamp. Okay.
Okay.
So a swamp is a noun. Okay, first and foremost, person, place, or thing.
Wow, it's a thing.
It's an area
That's
of
pretty
low-lying, uncultivated ground where water collects, a bog or marsh. See, that's confusing because it used marsh to describe swamp.
Whoa.
Okay,
Oh.
Wrong.
but to overwhelm or flood with water. Okay, that's a swamp. Now, if we go to marsh, it's an area of low-lying land which is flooded in wet seasons or at high tide and typically remains waterlogged at all times.
So they're
So,
the same.
yeah, I mean,
So they're the same.
same but different. You know what I mean?
So it almost seems like all marshes are swamps, but not all swamps are marshes.
Oh,
One of those. Is it one of those?
So, what I do
Yeah.
know is that we don't live by a marsh. We have confirmed the area was not a marsh, and we think they just didn't feel like
Okay.
mowing it because they didn't feel like it. That's what I think.
I wonder how hard it is to get a mower down there. Like sometimes if it's like too big, it'll like
Yeah,
bottom out or
maybe.
something.
I don't know, you guys.
Ew, now I'm just thinking of wet, soggy grass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
My matcha
Yeah.
lemonade is looking less appetizing.
Yeah,
right
it was-
now.
Mary
It looks
is
like
drinking this.
swamp
It's
water.
almost like bright green drink right now.
Yeah.
okay. Well, anyway, I thought that would have been a riveting
So, that's
discussion,
gross.
but sorry it ended
Thank
on.
you.
Wow.
I loved
Thank
that.
you.
That was
No,
great.
that
I
was-
learned nothing from it, and that's my favorite type of conversation to have. So
and in my
it's
mind, I was
great.
like, I learned something new. Mary's like,
Great.
no.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
off of that,
Done.
let's introduce the topic today, ladies. So
Hard left.
basically, we've talked a lot about the Mennonite world in which we grew up and things that we've done, like our hobbies, and I think a lot of times, I think we even wonder this now, like how in the world are we still friends? Like what keeps us connected? Why are we even still friends after like 10 plus years or whatever? And a big common denominator that we have found is music. And so if you know any of us personally or know us collectively as a group, music has always been involved. And so it's a huge thing in the Mennonite church. It's a huge part of how we really continued to cultivate our friendship, like in college and past. And so we're just excited to kind of discuss with each other today how music has affected us growing up, together, apart, how it still affects us today, and all that stuff. And just kind of like, I don't know, how much we love music because we love it so much.
yeah.
I'd like to paint you a picture. If you're new here, we'll catch you up to speed real quick. We all three grew up Mennonite and live all across the country. One in Oregon, one in Iowa, one in North Carolina. But I think a big thing in the Mennonite faith, that's a denomination of Christianity, is 4-part harmony. And we all 3 grew up going to church, singing
Oh,
4-part
yeah.
harmony. And I really think that because of that, that's how we learned how to sing.
Yeah.
And just like, we'll get into it later, but like later down the line, we met at college and were in choir together. And I really think it's because of those like formative first moments in our respective
Totally.
places, like learning how to like listen and how to, be attentive to all of the sounds and
Yeah.
everything. Like I literally think back to my earliest childhood memories, and like a lot of it does
Mhm.
relate to music. Like I've always enjoyed music. My parents would always put like music on in the house, and I just love listening to it. And now I'm just like so like appreciative of like the intricacies and all the dissonance, and like when someone can like perform like and just be like so musically gifted, I'm just like I'm
Totally.
loving it right now.
Yeah.
I know we kind of briefly talked about this in Take One, but Jacob Collier is one of my like recent favorite artists, and he just, if you guys don't know him,
Get on it.
go look him up.
Yeah.
Get
so
on him.
good.
The way
Ugh.
that he just creates music is out of this world, and just like he's a good example of just like being like so knowledgeable and gifted
Yes.
in this area. And
Yeah.
I could just listen
And
to him all day.
I do want to point out he was just in North Carolina. Unfortunately, we couldn't. I don't know why I didn't find out until the day of his concert and inform you right then and there. I wish I could have told you
know.
at least a day in advance. But like, he was in North Carolina. He was in Raleigh, which I mean, I don't even live in North Carolina, but apparently it's 2.5 hours away. So I've been told from Kira.
Yeah, it was close to Charlotte, but
yeah, so it was just like super last minute, and I was like, Kira, Jacob Collier has a concert, you've got to go. And it was unfortunately too last minute, but I can't imagine like seeing him in concert. I've watched some of his like live concerts and performances that he's had, or like I've listened to like his live album, and he gets his audience involved.
Yeah.
And to me, like you guys, I would think I would start bawling, like, like he'll divide and I don't know if he does this at every concert, but some of the ones that I've seen, he'll divide every section into a part, and he'll literally conduct the audience.
I love that.
And
so
he'll
cool.
add
It's so
dissonance,
good.
and he'll add beautiful harmonies and resolutions and dynamics.
And that's
yeah.
a musician who's a
Mhm.
producer. Like that's a musician that is so knowledgeable that they literally are producing the music, which is not every musician.
No.
so
Yeah.
good.
So
Yeah,
anyway,
true.
we're obsessed with him. We talked about him in Take One, and he's definitely noteworthy to bring back up.
Also Tori Kelly,
Tori
is
Kelly.
huge, especially in our friendship. That was our first concert we all went to together. Yeah, Casey, maybe you can talk a little bit too about that's like your like
My
vocal
infatuation
inspiration
with her.
is Tori
So,
Yeah.
to me, Tori Kelly is like one of those raw vocalists that you don't get to hear very often in real life. It's like you think of like someone like Celine Dion, Whitney Houston, like these people are iconic and everybody knows who they are. And I don't know how no one knows. I mean, people know Tori Kelly now probably more than they have in the past, but she's one of those vocalists.
Or maybe they'd know like a
Yeah.
title.
But, like
her,
she did a song
most
with Ed
popular songs,
Sheeran.
but they wouldn't be
Yeah,
like
she did a song with Ed Sheeran,
Yeah.
and like I think everyone knows that one. But Tori Kelly is just one of those just gifted artists that just blows your mind. I've been to her twice. She was up in Portland.
We actually went together. Do you guys
Yes.
remember going?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! After we
Mhm.
graduated
Yeah,
college,
and then she was up in Portland. I think it was like 2 years ago, maybe. And a tear came down my face, and I literally have no shame saying that because she's just
no.
iconic to me. And she was doing an acoustic tour, so it was literally just her guitar and then her electric guitar. I can't remember his name, but he's incredible. He has like big flowy dark hair and he wears glasses. I don't remember what his name is, but shout out to you.
No.
Anyway, but it was just the two of them, and she like did a bunch of YouTube covers back in the day, and she is just she's a super big inspiration of mine. She's
a powerhouse.
She's awesome.
She's amazing.
And
Yeah.
yes, totally. And then another one of mine is Yeba, which Kira, you introduced me to Yeba like 5 years
She's
ago.
amazing.
And I'm mad that she hasn't been in my life longer. But yeah, tell us about Yeba.
Me tell you about Yuba? Oh.
Yeah, please.
Boy, yes. Yeba, honestly, she did a Tiny Desk during COVID. That is probably one of my favorite Tiny Desk performances. I figured this out recently. Her name is Abby, but Yeba is Abby spelled backwards, so that's like her.
I love that.
Yeah, that's
so
like
cute.
her performance name. But the song that got me on her was a song called Evergreen, and it has very honestly it has very choral like sounds in it. And I think because I grew up in choir from a young age, I even was. Shout out to SVCC. I was in this children's choir from do you remember me telling you about this?
No.
No? Oh, no. Okay. Well, I was in this choir. It was like a, audition choir, children's choir, but we were like known in that region. It was like, not to toot my own horn, but it was like a prestigious choir in this area. People would come from all over audition. Wild. And that's alongside growing up in the Mennonite church, that choir is how I probably learned how to sing, essentially.
Sight read and do all your stuff.
And my friend Evan, mom was the choir director at the time. And anyways, that's neither here nor there. But I think just because I love choral sounds, I loved this specific song for Yeba, and then it just went from there. And now I follow her and just beautiful, beautiful sounds. But I love when an artist has a choir track in the background. So she's one of my other influences that I really, really like. Those are my two. But Mare, who's your inspiration?
I don't really know. I was trying to think about that. I lately have been so into Lizzie McAlpine.
Yeah.
I feel like her. So I love, and especially in college, back in the day, I loved Alessia Cara. She was I wanted to sound like her.
I love her.
But I don't think my voice sounds anything like her. But I think it's more real, not it's realistic for me to sound like any of these people because I'm not these people. But if we're going to pick one who'd be this is the most what I could model or what I could imitate, it would probably be Liz McAlpine. She just is so her album 5 Seconds Flat came out last April, but I just discovered it in December, and I listened to it again and again and again and again for probably 4 months. There's just no skips on that album. It's so good. And she does a Tiny Desk concert where it's her and a guitar and then 3 other vocalists, and I think one of them plays a guitar sometimes too. But it just it's so simple and stripped, but it's beautiful.
Also, if you don't know what Tiny Desk concert is, let's put you onto it, because it's NPR puts on. It started this guy's literal office, his desk, and so they called it Tiny Desk because his office was tiny. And so they would bring in these huge artists, and they would literally sit at his desk with a small ensemble and just do whatever their craft was. So, the rule about NPR being on Tiny Desk concert, because I read them because I'm a freak. He has to hear you live before you're allowed to be invited. And there's one person he has not heard live, and he just took his kids' words for it. Oh my word, this is horrible of me. I cannot remember.
Do you not remember who it is?
This is terrible, you guys. I'm literally obsessed with her.
You just set up this ball and whiffed it.
You really did.
So flipping hard.
Was it recent?
No.
I'm trying to think which recent ones.
I can't believe this is happening to me, you guys. Can you talk about something while I'm looking?
Yeah.
Casey's
while you
having
look
a
it
panic
up,
attack.
you can find these videos on YouTube. Literally just search in NPR Tiny Desk, and you will.
Leanne LaHavas.
I don't know who that is.
So
that is,
I'm really
actually.
excited that you guys don't know who that is, because that means you guys get to hear her for the first time. So Leanne LaHava's Tiny Desk concert. It's her, 2 other people. One guy plays piano. She plays an electric guitar, but it's a steel electric guitar. So it has fun sounds to it. She is British, so her accent is adorable. But she is also a powerhouse. She did a collaboration with Jacob Collier. So honestly, anyone who Jacob Collier ever does a collaboration with, they're good.
So good.
And so,
yeah.
Also
yes.
Lizzie,
and so
they did
Tiny
one
Desk
too.
concert, basically, Tori Kelly also has done one. But Tiny Desk concert, you got to be good. Like if you're on Tiny Desk concert, that means you are a legitimate artist. So like if I ever went on Tiny Desk concert, like I would be like, okay, I made it. Like that's better than, to me, that is better than literally anything in the world. Lianna.
Yeah.
If you're trying to look up Liana.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
wondering.
I
I
found
was
her.
like,
So good.
Lian.
put it in our group chat. I wanna.
Yeah.
Look her up later.
She's insane. But that's like, I think the one person he's ever let come without like actually hearing her live.
Should we talk about choir?
Yeah.
Our time in choir.
Yeah.
So
let's
like
talk about
we
choir.
all grew up in these Mennonite churches that had these beautiful harmonies, and like Kiara said, she was in choir from a very young age. Casey and I don't know, Casey, when you started, but like we started in middle school. Would you say that's when you
we
started?
did some church choirs and stuff.
Oh, sure.
And so
Okay.
I've been doing music in the church with harmonies for a long time.
Yeah. So then post high school, then we went to college. And so the way our college in Kansas was set up, there was Bel Canto, which was like the elite
Canto.
choir that,
Prestige
like
worldwide.
you would audition for it.
We're on
Prestige
YouTube.
worldwide.
She don't look us up.
Yeah, don't Google it. But we would, you'd audition in the spring, and then for the next year, and then the next level below that was, I don't remember what it was called. I think we were trying to
Choral?
remember this last time too.
Chorus?
Chorale.
Chorale.
Is it
Is
chorale?
it right?
I don't
That
know why
actually
that's
sounds-
sticking
that
in my
sounds
head.
right.
I feel like I should say yeehaw after it though.
I know.
But I think that's what it was.
Chorale.
I think
Like,
that's right
mixed
though.
crack?
Like chorale and cattle.
I don't.
What?
I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't
no,
know.
just chorale.
We'll
roll
But
with
so,
it, but-
anyways, so our first year at Heston, Casey and Kiara liked to make fun of me because I was not in Bel Canto, and they were in Bel Canto.
Yeah, she wasn't good enough.
And there's two
She wasn't
sides
really
to this
good enough,
story.
and so she didn't make it because she wasn't good enough.
Oh.
And
Casey likes
and
to talk.
she
crap.
like worked really hard in the off season, and like she really like she was like grinded, and then next year she did eventually
I
make
hate
it.
you.
But it was
oh
like,
my gosh.
you know, sometimes you have to like face
was, like,
defeat
really
a little
hard.
bit before you can like.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
just,
they
like,
both
be
have different
humbled.
stories.
So what actually happened? I didn't commit to Heston until like June. So I didn't send in my like audition video or anything until like July. Like it was like the summer, right before freshman year. So it was obviously too late. So I did chorale. I did still have a music scholarship. Like they were like, "You're good, but too late." Not good enough. There is part of me
can't.
that was like, if I would have sang like you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, would you not let
I know,
anyone in
like
late? You know
who
what I
do-
mean?
I know.
That's the thing.
And also, Mare has a really, really good voice. So there's
Well, a part of me is like, my voice was not refined at that point at all. I had not really taken
Mm.
vocal lessons. So part of me,
no.
I'm nervous for if I like that I have the excuse that I was late because I
Mm.
don't know genuinely if I
Yeah.
would have made it at that
blame
point.
it on that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
But anyways, so that was the story. But then second year, we all made it.
I mean,
in,
you know,
and
I'm
it was
talking
great.
crap.
It was a great
I'm
time.
talking mad smack because
Yeah.
you're obviously an amazing vocalist. So I'm just messing with you.
Thanks. Yeah.
we had some fun memories in choir. I think too, like in college, we all had different hobbies. We all enjoyed different sports, different activities. But the thing that kind of is like the common thread in like our college journey, if you will, is choir. So that's really like, I honestly really looked forward to choir because we would just goof
Yeah.
off together. Like
Oh yeah.
we were all altos,
honestly,
so we
the
just
three of us didn't give a crap.
I mean,
no.
I mean, like we
We
cared,
cared.
as
We
far as
did
like if we had
care.
solo, like we didn't
Right.
want to sound bad. We didn't want to
Right.
make the choir
Right.
sound bad. We didn't want to be a distraction. But as
Right.
far as like, I don't know, there were just
yeah.
There's
I think
different levels.
Yes,
There's
Right.
different
Well,
levels of,
and like
of
if
choir
you've ever been,
kids. If you
you've ever
get
been
it,
in
you
choir,
get it.
Like you know, like altos, we just kind of chill. Like altos are chill.
We're
Altos are
chill.
chill. So like
We're chill.
sopranos,
But
yeah.
they're cool
Like tight-
kids.
Like sopranos, you basically had to learn the melody of the song, and once the melody was learned, we could pretty much just figure out what we were gonna do. And then we had a few notes sometimes that were a
Mhm.
little, oh, I didn't see that one coming. But
And I don't know about you guys, but I am not a perfectionist. And so like it was hard for me like when a conductor is like, let's do this again 20,000 more times. And I'm like, it literally sounds the same every time. What do you want? Like, I'm hungry. It's time for lunch. You know?
Yeah. I think in the practice, I'm not a perfectionist, but in the performance, I'm a perfectionist because I want to seem like I am. I know what I'm doing. And typically I would in those spaces. But in the practicing, I just wanted to kind of get it and then like fill in the gap later. Like I didn't.
There was definitely some points, I think, in like any song where you just weren't as confident with it, but you knew like there was going to be someone who was. So you just kind of like backed off for maybe like a second or took your breath strategically at a point where a note was like, I'm not really sure if this is right or not.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I am kind of a perfectionist, so I kind of like differ from you guys there. I wanted to make sure that I knew my part. Yeah. So I needed to know my fart.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We all know that,
Casey.
We all know your part.
I needed to learn my part, and then once I learned my part, then I was happy to goof off. But I just had to, I needed to get it, and then I was like, got it. And then I would just, be stupid.
Yeah. But. Would you agree the worst, I think, here's my toxic take.
Ooh.
The worst personality in a choir is an alto with a soprano personality.
Like a tryhard.
Yes.
Listen, and like if you're not in the part of the choir world, let me try and relate this to you. Okay. So here, let me give you a sports analogy and someone else take over some other type of thing. So this is okay, let me give a basketball analogy. This is the first one that came to my head. So this is like a 3. This is like a guard shooter who's playing like
they run the court. Like they're the point guard.
Like they're the point guard. That's exactly. So, but it's like, bro, we just throw you the ball and you hook up a few threes for us. That's the type of personality that this is, or it's the
personality of someone who like okay, the alto adds, we add depth. The alto and the bass add depth to the sound because we are the lower range for the genders. But when an alto with a soprano personality is standing beside me and they turn their body, and I know exactly what you mean. Louder, I'm like, I'm singing the note.
Like, this is your note.
Literally
you're like,
singing
no,
it.
Stop.
You're the one who's
that
flat.
Is like what I
back
remember.
Off.
Yeah. Yes. Like, no, I know that I'm not wrong because I'm also singing the same note as the person on the other side of me who's not being an a-hole about it. Like that type of thing. That's like, stop. It's almost like a mothery. Like, stop. You're not the director. You're not the conductor.
See. And this goes back to my mentality that it's like choir is so intense
for no reason
because it's like you're so like when that is your world, that is your whole world, and you
totally makes
so
sense when
focused
you're in
on getting every single note right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And also like we kind of had to uphold. We all had scholarships for choir, so we like kind of in some way had to uphold that, and we liked it. So it was multiple layers. But then when you throw on the like, why is this so? Why are we doing this so many times? It's just like I think back to that space, and like at the time, I think it was just what it is because it's choir. But now looking back, I personally, I'm probably the only one out of us 3 that I'm not really in any like singing space. I wouldn't really say that I'm not on any worship team. I don't really sing solo. If there was a chance to do an acapella little thing, that could be fun. But I'm not really in that world anymore. So like my mind almost like can't grasp it. Like 10 years ago, that was my like everything.
That was your like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now as like a worship leader, or Casey, you could probably attest to this too. When like on a team or in like something musical like that, there are just times where you'll go over something again and again and again in rehearsal, and at some point the grace has left the room and it's not going to sound good because everyone's kind of peeved,
Oh no.
And like on a Thursday night when we're rehearsing, I can like as the leader or whatever, you can say like, you know what, let's each just practice this on our own. Like we all have our parts that we need to work on, and on Sunday we'll come together and run through it. And it is 90% of the time, it's just because it's 8 p.m. and we're all tired and hungry. Like, But that doesn't exist in the choir world. It's like, we've been doing this for 40 minutes and it's still not right, and we're all peeved, but we're gonna have to keep doing it until the director is like pleased,
or until the bell
Right.
rings.
at least with the directors that we had. Like, maybe
Yeah.
not every director is like that, but yeah.
I mean, and there's totally a difference, I think, too,
Yeah.
between like totally jiving with your conductor, like your director, and not. Like,
Yeah.
there's some directors I've had that I would like, yeah, I'm happy to stay 5 minutes after class or whatever. And then I've had directors where I'm like, I'm sorry, but like, there's no reason that we should keep going because no one wants to be here.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
fun fact, you guys, I'm
doing this for the
I
scholarship.
quit choir
right now.
in seventh grade. Fun fact about me, which if you
Mm.
know me, that's kind of scandalous.
That's big.
Yeah. So I think it was
That is
sixth grade. Actually, it was sixth grade. I
scandalous.
quit choir in sixth grade. I wasn't liking it, and I love to sing, and that whole world has like been so important in my life. And I remember going up to my mom and being like, "Mom, I think I want to quit," and she was like, "What?" I was like, "I know, but like, I'm not having fun." And then I proceeded to join band, which I joined percussion. It wasn't, I don't know.
Classic.
My dad
I
had
did
my
too.
dad plays the drums, and he had a drum kit at home, and I was like, well, I guess that makes sense. And I felt like I needed to continue to do something musically, besides
Yeah.
not being in choir. And I mean, that was fine, whatever. But yeah,
Mm.
I mean, it depends on the
I don't-
director too. Sometimes they pull it out of you, and you're like, yes, I want to do this for you. Like a coach, like you have some coaches you want to perform for, and some that
Yeah.
you don't. Like some you're just like, psh, screw you.
Yeah.
Like I could care less about this team and you right now. Like get me out of
Yeah.
here.
And the
Mm.
difference is when you feel like you're just like the vessel for like their
Totally.
purpose. It's not like
Mm.
there's no like investment in you as a person, and even in like, I see potential in you, I want to hone in your craft. It's like, I want you to do this for this
Mhm.
team, period, or I
Mm.
want you to do this for this choir,
Mhm.
period. That's the
Mm.
only reason you're there, and that's when it's like hard
Yeah.
to follow that.
Also, favoritism is real in choir. It is real.
Big
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
Big time.
absolutely. Did you guys ever feel like you really put like your value and identity into being a choir kid? Because I think of like you as someone who like grew up in choir, especially again going back to our Mennonite roots. It was almost like if you weren't in choir, what were you doing? In a way, I know I had friends that weren't, and they really felt like honestly the outcast to some degree because they're like, that's just not my passion. But it was like everyone was doing it, so it's like, and I really feel like I made that an identity in high school. Was like, I'm part of this touring choir, and we got to, I mean, I'm so grateful for all the experiences. We got to travel the country, we got to travel all of like
Mhm.
Eastern Europe one summer, so it's like I got to experience the world because of this.
Yeah.
But I think it was because of that I was like, I'm gonna put my value and identity in being like a Mennonite choir alto girl, and this is gonna be my world. And when I realized I'm like, maybe I don't want to put it in that anymore. I want that to be like a side hobby, not my full, everything. It's like hard mentally to like shift out of that. I don't know if you guys have
I mean,
experienced
I can
that or
totally
not.
speak to that on like sports. I mean, choir was something that I really loved to do. That was like the musical side of me that just I had to do something. But like, I mean, you can think of all of this in like the sports world, because I remember I would play volleyball, but I would be in the choir, and people would be like, how do you do both? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, you have to pick one. You have to choose which one is going to be. Like, I really wanted to be in the musical at school, but it was during volleyball season. So I chose volleyball because to me that seemed more important. But people were like, why wouldn't you join the musical? Why wouldn't you do this? And I'm like, because I can't do both, and I don't know who to be. And it felt like I was constantly in turmoil of like, well, I'm supposed to be,
And it's my life,
and it's supposed to be
not
like,
yours.
how am I supposed to be
Right.
two kinds of people? I can't be
Because if you would have done the musical, people would have said, why are you
exactly.
playing
And
volleyball?
there's no
Yeah,
way I wasn't going to play
exactly.
volleyball. I mean, my identity was a volleyball player, definitely for a really long time, and that's something that I had to work through as well. And like, music was always just kind of like a fallback for me. No, but music was my biggest passion. But also sports in the Midwest. If you're from the Midwest, sports are king. Like, if you don't play sports, like, what are you doing? So I can kind of resonate with you with like, if you're not in the choir, what are you doing? It was like, if you're not playing sports, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And you better like find a sport that works for you. And if you're not athletic and if you can't play a sport, then you're not like, you're just not it. Like, so I totally get that in like the opposite sense of the word. For me, choir was just kind of like a moment where I could kind of just not have that pressure on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had like no identity. Or honestly, I feel like my school was so small. My high school was so small. I did everything. Like, and everything was scheduled in a way that everyone could do everything. Like, we would have musical. Yeah, there were 12 people in my graduating class. And it was 6 guys, 6 girls. And then the grade below me, listen to this. This is what's even more nuts. The grade below me the grade before me was 6 kids, 6 graduating class.
All
3
together.
of them were international students.
Oh,
that is
yeah.
wild.
Oh my god.
We actually, for the size of our school, had a big international program. Like, there's a lot of students.
I mean,
from,
yeah, that's half of
Korea.
half of one class.
Honestly,
50%.
yeah. But no, like, so I didn't know, like, am I a jock? Am I musical? Am I whatever? But then, but what I realized, and even think about it now, I don't even know if I've talked to you guys much about this. I think this is something I've maybe even thinking about now. I'm like, ugh, I don't like that. I feel like almost shame in it. But like, because our school is so small, I like I can think back from like musicals to like 3rd grade where like I was some sort of lead role. If not the lead, I was a lead. Like one year, even in like Aladdin, I was Jafar. Like you know,
what?
Yeah, yes, no, seriously. Yes. So my very good high school friend Tori, who also came to Heston, so Kiara, in case you know them,
Yes.
Tori played Jasmine, and I told our director, like, honestly, I kind of want to be Jafar. I think part of it too was because I didn't want to like compete with Tori. I didn't want there to be anything like that. So I was like, honestly, she can have Jasmine. I think it'd be fun to be Jafar. And so I had like eyeliner, beard, like. I should find videos from it.
I need
But what
proof.
sucked is that like it was not at all in my vocal range, and it was like it was a pianist. Like we had someone live playing it, but it was like too difficult for her to transpose it because it was like you'd transfer it from one song to the other. Like she's playing the whole night, Anyways, so I think what my identity was set is as like the lead role. Like a lead, and so it was hard for me like not getting into bel canto, even though it was because of air quotes. It's because of being late. Like that was hard to be like, oh, okay, so I'm in this choir. Like how can I be the best in this choir? Or even like in vocal lessons at Heston, I felt like that's when it was like my time to shine, when I could show like myself. Like I didn't really feel any identity in choir itself at Heston, or even I did women's choir the first year we were here at Northwestern, and I didn't really feel any connection to any of that. I felt connection whenever I had like a recital,
like when we do master class and we'd all watch each other.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Or like you could choose to have the recital in front of like a chapel, like on like a Tuesday or whenever the chapels were, and I chose those because I liked that. Like I felt confident to perform my song because also my vocal teacher was amazing, and she was like, yeah, you're like, I don't have any sort of falsetto. I don't have any sort of like higher pitch, like doing a song in French that goes into a higher falsetto. I was not made for that. I was made for like belty Broadway, like theatrical songs. And now as a worship leader, like in worship, that's great. Like so many songs are loud, belty songs. And so I took a lot of lessons about that and how to do that well. And that's what I felt like I like, I don't know if that counts as like I don't know if I saw my identity in that, but that was what I felt most myself in, I think.
Yeah. That's probably where like your giftings really came out. Cause I think even like music is like a pretty, I guess in a way, a broad hobby, and it's like you could have so many different like avenues within music, whether it's solo, whether it's choir, whether it's musicals. Do you remember we were in Little Women?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Oh, I just made Noah watch it. Like,
yes,
what,
and Kira, if you had Snapchat, you would have gotten all of these amazing videos.
I think I
Stop.
downloaded them and sent them to you though because I knew you didn't, because it was all like you on
Recently?
like I defy you.
Yes. Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Oh
I went
my
and watched this
word.
live, and I remember thinking,
Yeah.
do I really want to keep hanging out with these ladies?
Do I want to be
with these
their
little
friend?
women.
Stop.
Dude,
You
I
didn't
remember
like it.
I loved that. I thought that was so fun. Like
Me too.
I low-key love theater. I'm like I there's just no way to do that in sports in college though. Like to do
No.
it at Northwestern.
I mean,
there's no
I
way.
couldn't do it. I always wanted to in high school, and I would do like children's choir children's plays and stuff during the spring whenever I had more time. But I really would have loved to also do that. And I did a couple things at my church, which was like the best Christmas pageant ever. Like if you're in the church and you know, I was the narrator.
Yeah.
And like I always loved to do that kind of stuff, but I didn't have the capabilities to. But I definitely would have if I wasn't playing sports all the time.
I think in music, what I've realized about myself, I don't think this is probably you guys, but I do like to perform. I do like to be on a stage, but I do not like to be either the only person or one of the focal points. I like to blend in. I don't really know what that says about myself, but I like to be there and to like in a way put on a show. I think I like the idea of like either making people smile or like brightening someone's day and like being kind of someone who like can help like project that onto someone. But I don't like to be like have that in my full hands. Like that feels like a lot of pressure and a lot of like responsibility to be like, that's why I truly never enjoyed solos. And I think part of that was because I'm like, and then I would, in a way, I would get like stage fright, even though I'm like, I've done this before, but I just gotten so in my head because I'm like, it's up to me now to be this way. But if it was even one other person, I feel like it's a shared responsibility. I feel like I can kind of go in the back. And I think that's why I liked choir too, because I loved like being on stage and all of the little, like, I remember my children's choir, like there were so many specific things that we were like trained not to do, even like touch our face, because like our choir director was like, that is going to like in a way make you stand out, so you need to like not touch your face, you need to just stand there and smile when people are laughing. When you bow, this is the exact way that you need to bow, so we all look in unison. Like it was so like down to a T, but I liked it because we blended in together in a way.
Yeah,
it was safe, and so it made me feel like I was part of something, but I wasn't like the sole person to
totally makes
like
sense.
perform, if that makes sense.
Your voice matches your personality.
100%.
Like you have a personality. Yes, you have a personality that blends in with other people very well. Your voice is the perfect choir blend voice.
It's a very choral. That's what I say.
It's beautiful. It's perfect.
I don't like it on its own, but I throw me in a 4-part, 8-part harmony.
Yeah,
I can blend.
Yeah, you can.
I can blend.
It adds so much. Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, again, I don't know really what that says about me, but
you want
I like to blend in,
to just be included and like have a good time, and that's
everyone have a good time.
That's super you.
And we love that about you. That's why you were an amazing RA.
Aw.
Seriously.
Oh man,
And an amazing
person.
Aw, that's kind. You guys are amazing. I just love you. I just wish we lived closer.
I know.
Every time.
That's why we're doing this podcast, though. Like,
It's true.
Like, we talk so often now.
I know.
I
Which is
know.
amazing.
I'm actually
Not
obsessed
like we
with
didn't talk
I
often
know.
before, but that's part of why we wanted to do this, was to give us like 3 friends an excuse to like get together.
I almost feel like our title is misleading. I mean, it's not, because it truly, like when we were doing this, it's like, guys, it's literally been way too long. We have to.
Yeah.
We need to like do something.
Yeah. Pre-podcast, it was like.
But now, I mean, well, and it's funny because
we text every
texted
single
all the
day.
time, but now I would say our texting has gone down a little bit because we talk more, and we also don't want to talk about things over text because we want to talk about it here.
We want to talk about it
We
here.
can look at each other's reactions. That makes it way better.
Yes.
That makes it way better. Well, if you're not like a music or choir nerd and you're like, you guys are weird, that didn't make any sense. Whatever, because
Sorry.
whatever.
Come
Hey,
back next
we
week.
like you and you're included, but if you didn't like it, then this is a part of us and it just like is who we are. So we can't like deny that part of ourselves.
Yeah.
And I don't want us to, because truly some of my favorite memories have just been like singing with you guys, and I want to sing with you
know.
guys all the time, and we'll send each other songs sometimes and be like, oh my gosh, you would sound so good singing this, or like, oh, we should all sing this together. And we probably have like a huge mass of songs that have never been sung, and
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe we
Yeah.
should like sing for them sometime, guys. Not today, because these whole
Well,
mic
and
things,
not on here
I know
because
it's like
the lag will be
delay
so
lags
bad.
so bad.
crazy.
Yeah.
We do have, which is kind of fun, which you guys should do this with your friends for those who are listening. But if you guys have a Spotify account, you can create like your own playlist blend of like everybody's
Yeah.
top songs, and then it'll throw in
Mhm.
songs. I think it's like songs that they either think
Yeah,
that you're like.
I just listened to our blend the other day, and it'll be songs that like I've liked, or like me and Kira have liked, or something that Meredith and
okay.
Kira have
Or
liked.
songs that I've liked that are related
Yes.
artists that are similar to ones that you're
Yes.
listening to or whatever.
Mm.
Yeah.
I did just
It's
get
really
a
good.
Spotify notification that I have just discovered North Carolina roots genre. Didn't know that was a thing, but apparently
Wow.
I'm living in the North
I'm always-
Carolina roots genre.
I'm always amazed at the end of the year when you get that you're
Mhm.
wrapped, how many different
Yeah.
genres there
Yeah.
are. Like, aren't there
Yeah.
just like
I
4?
know.
Like,
Same. I was like,
Pop,
there's like
rock,
yeah, there's 4 genres.
soul,
There's like hundreds,
which is basically R&B, so that doesn't really count.
Yeah.
And then
Like,
rap.
I
don't know.
like even in the worship genre,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
like deep
Yeah.
cut Christian. Like there's like or like
soft
live
Christian.
worship. Like there's like so many different kinds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bryce's
That's
Spotify
so
rap,
weird.
he got the words hype and uplifting.
Exactly how I would describe
I'm
Hype
dead.
and uplifting.
Hype.
So
Yeah.
he'll like have elevation worship, elevation going, and then the next it will go to a DJ Khaled song, and it's like,
Stop.
Bryce, this doesn't have any sort of correlation. He goes, I know, but we got to be hype and we got to uplift. It's all important.
We gotta be
You know, I appreciate that. I feel like all of my playlist, even if it's like calming music, it's like so out there that I'm like, to me, this makes sense. But probably to someone else in this playlist, they'd be like, this is a
Yeah. Are
chaotic
you still
and all
listening
over
to
the place.
throwbacks like every 2 seconds of your life, or have you?
No, I've kind of got. Oh god, I
Kira's
love
not
good
a
throwback.
Disney adult, but she loves
She's like a throwback.
20 like
Yes.
2000s Disney Channel, like Lizzie
Yes.
McGuire era,
Yeah.
early like Allie
I would
and AJ.
say that I'm straying away from that. I still love them, and every once in a while, I'm like, to be nostalgic. I think that was truly the only music that I knew. Like that was just, I was like, I like this genre. I like these people, and now I will like to think that I have definitely
branched
broadened my
out.
horizons. I've branched out, so I like listening to them now for like nostalgic sake. But I have so many like fun artists. Like my Spotify weekly has been just going
Mhm.
off lately. That I've been finding just amazing people that I'm like, even like, 8, 9, 10 years ago, I would have been like, I don't like this music, and now I'm like, I'm just gonna sit in my room and cry, and I'm not even like that emotional of a
No.
person. I wouldn't say
Yeah.
outwardly emotional, but I'm like in
Yeah.
tune with like the soul.
Yes, I think
music
that
now.
music is like food. Hear me out. Okay. So
Okay.
when
Let's-
someone first starts eating food, they start super, super small, right? They're drinking milk and whatever. And then they have to slowly build up their taste buds. And you have people that just stop at chicken.
You're talking about like
Yes.
babies.
And then they're growing up, okay?
Okay.
And then some
Yep.
people just stop at chicken nuggets or chicken tenders and french fries. Some people stop there, okay? But
Mm.
you should continue to cultivate and develop what you're eating, and then maybe throw in some Chinese in there, some Mexican food in there, whatever.
Yeah, some pho.
Some pho. That's what I'm talking about. And this is what
Some
I'm saying this
pho.
because when Bryce first tried pho, he was like, ugh, and this boy only grew up on burgers and fries. So I had to work him up to pho, and I have to work Bryce up to my music, because if you don't understand the beauty behind everything that went into it, you're just going to be like, why is this so busy? Or like, why is this all happening? This is kind of annoying. Like, this doesn't make any sense to me, and you're not appreciative of it. Like food. There's some cultures people don't appreciate because they haven't worked their way up to that palate.
That's a good analogy,
Thank you.
actually.
I
I'm
like that
tracking
a lot.
now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've only recently in this last year, and I don't know if it was just a religion thing, like that was just pounded in me in my head of like Christian music only. But I've only recently, I'm going to use the term freed because I was listening to like worship music on my way to work solely out of like, well, this is how you start your day, like because I'm a Christian and I'm worship leader. I feel like I have to, like, I feel like I should want to do this, right? And I've recently, in the last like 4 months, have like freed myself of that, of like, I am a Christian. I can be a Christian without doing that. Like, I can listen to Lizzie McAlpine on my way to work and still be a Christian. Like, you know what I mean? I don't have to listen to Build My Life and on repeat. You know?
Oh, Build My Life.
Like, that was obviously a drastic example, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So well, even that like freedom of like, I listen to so much more like music, I guess, in the last little bit just because of that.
You know, you unlocked a memory when you were saying that, and I'm curious what each of your guys' first memory of a secular song was, because I have a very vivid memory of like, and I grew up very, I mean, I would say sheltered in a lot of ways, but especially musically, like only like solely worship Christian music. And the first non-Christian song that I heard was Hot and Cold by Katy Perry.
I love that.
In
so funny.
my friend Evan's basement. It was a birthday party, I'm sure. And Evan at the time was like, listen to this new, up and coming artist. It was her first album. And I was like, literally, and Evan at the time was like, vibing, dancing, and I was like, what is this? This is not, this is not godly. And I was like, I can't listen to this. And then like, I literally would listen to that song on repeat on my own with like my little headphones. And I was like on my literal portable CD charger or CD player. It had headphones attached. I would listen to that, and I would try to make sure that like my parents didn't know.
Funny.
Exactly. I was like, they can't know I'm not listening to Toby Mac or Casting Crowns.
Barlow Girl.
Oh, Barlow Girl.
Honestly, Barlow Girl.
Barlow
slaps.
Girl.
Like
they did then, and they're still
good.
Did you guys ever listen to Jump 5?
Oh, heck yes. But then they became like, then they lost one of them, and it was Jump 4, and then it just wasn't as good.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. They had a reunion recently on TikTok, and they did something together.
Oh, really?
It was amazing.
I'm actually going to look that up after this. I can't wait.
Perfect. Well, to go off of your like hiding stuff from your parents, I used to have a radio in my bedroom, and I slept on a top bunk, like a loft, and I would put the radio underneath my pillow, and I would listen to 102.9.
That's so funny.
Which was the Bat Station. Z102.9. That's what it was. And I would put it underneath my pillow, and then if I like heard my mom coming, then it was under the pillow, and then I could like quick like turn the knob down to turn it. But the first 2 songs that I remember being like super bad in my life, super bad. Whatever. Actually, they're actually, I would say, of all the songs to hear, these probably were a little bit more graphic. It's getting hot in here.
So hot.
So take off all your clothes. That was the first one I heard. I know. I heard that when I was pretty young. I was in California, like visiting some family, and it was like hot outside, and there was some people in the apartments. Their door was open, and they were just like sitting, chilling, and that music was blaring, and I was like, take off all your clothes? I was like, wait, that's like naked. And I was like having this like internal like, what's going on? What's going on? I think I was 6 or 7 at the time.
That's so funny.
I know. I'm like,
do I tell my mom that I heard
And then
that?
the next one I heard on the bus.
My stomach hurt.
I heard on the bus. And it was my milkshakes bring the much that I young.
Wow,
I know.
2 back to back.
Naughty.
I remember
Couldn't be more worldly.
This was like before streaming music and all that stuff, which seems like archaic now. Like I feel like I'm like so old by even saying that. And this is before like YouTube really blew up or anything. So you had to like listen to the radio to hear that song that you wanted to hear again, which is why it was so crucial that I had my radio underneath my pillow.
You listen,
because I was like, what kind of milkshakes? Like I genuinely wanted to know.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
I think for that one I was like 8 or 9, and I was just like,
I
just don't understand. Like why are her milkshakes? Does she make really good milkshakes?
They like whipped cream and like cherries.
I just don't get why they're so good that all the boys come to the yard. Like I just didn't get that. I didn't get that.
How do I get them to my yard?
But I will say a little bit different than you, funny. Kira. I had an older sister who listened to some of the best music ever, and her and I like still love to talk about a lot of these musics that she would play. Like Mario was like a huge artist that I love to listen to. Let Me Love You by Mario is one that was just always hits my heart.
Oh, that's
and
a
she would
good
drive me to school and
one.
I'm like 7 or 8. Let me love you.
See, I listened to that for the first time in college.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So I would say, and just, I mean, I've talked about, I think, my ethnicity on here before, have I? I don't know. If I haven't, well, here you go. My dad is Mexican, my mom is white. And my dad plays the drums and he brought a lot of flavor to the home, and my mom was the Mennonite. Think of like Kiera. She's kind of like that a little bit, which is probably why Kiera and I are super good friends. Yeah,
I'm like your mom.
Exactly.
That's an honor.
So my dad just brought a lot of the flavor to the home. So we would listen to a lot of like gospel Christian music rather than just like typical. I mean, we would listen to, you know, like Casting Crowns and all the uses, but I would listen to a lot of other stuff too to kind of zhuzh it up rather than just
Sometimes you need a zhuzh.
I don't remember my first secular song. I do remember in second grade. Keep in mind, I went to Mennonite school. In second grade, I told my teacher that my dad's favorite song was "I Love This Bar" by Toby Keith.
What was their reaction?
Oh, she was not thrilled about that.
So funny.
No, and I remember
So
my dad, because also then apparently he had a bad parent-teacher conference with that teacher when my sister was in her class. So he was like, "Man, she just hates us." Like she's praying for us for sure. And I remember like listening. I loved the song. I don't remember what age I was. I was probably around second grade or even younger. And my dad had the Dixie Chicks CD, the one with all their feet, with all them dogs on it. And
Earl Had to Die. Please tell me that's what it was.
Goodbye, Earl. Yes, I remember requesting it, and my dad being like, "I shouldn't," but like it's kind of funny that my like 5-year-old likes this song. Yeah. So I don't actually remember like if either of those are the first one. We just had, it was like kind of country music all throughout. I grew up on a farm. Like my dad's a farmer. We always had like country radio on. You know, so.
And you, Kira, mistake me or like correct me if I'm literally mistaken, but you don't know that?
Mistake me.
You don't know that song?
I mean,
Goodbye,
like
Earl?
Off the top of my head, like I know the Dixie Chicks, but off the top of my head, I like can't think of the tune. I know you just sang it, but
Marianne and Wanda were the best of friends back in their high school days.
Actually, I just wanted to hear you guys sing.
I'll do this.
It's
No,
so
I'll
good.
look it up. I'm sure that I've heard it.
If Dixie Chicks have an Eras tour, I only know one era, but I'm going.
Just play Earl Has to Die the entire time.
It's the Chicks. The whole night
my
for
gosh.
3 hours, and I'm screaming it.
Scream that one.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Well, I have that little end segment.
Oh yeah.
Yes, okay, I'm
Matt
ready
picked
for it.
us.
I'm
Since
super
we've
ready.
been here for like 2 hours now.
Oh boy.
Okay. So this is time of the show where I just ask a series of like 3 or 4 questions, and we pick one that we answer. Okay. So number 1, would you rather? It's a would you rather question. Would you rather swim in a pool of chocolate pudding or a pool of strawberry ice cream? So that's the first question.
Oh. Okay.
Are you a matcha drinker or a latte drinker? And I'm not asking tea or coffee. I'm asking those specific drinks.
Okay.
Matcha or latte? Or, well, matcha or like
I hear
espresso latte.
Okay.
You know. If your hands were muffins, what muffins would they be?
What?
I can't. It's like Meredith was a
Like,
teacher.
where did you go to find these?
Did you come up with this on your own?
The muffins one, Noah's sister asked us one other time. The would you rather one, I had a would you rather book in my classroom, and that's one that I always bring out because I think it's kind of cute.
Where are we choosing between?
We
one
have
of the
to choose
three or
between one of those
answering
So
them?
those three
That's
questions.
kind of
pick one.
tough. I don't want to do the first one because I think it would.
I hope you pick the muffin.
Okay,
let's do
I
the
was kind of wanting to
muffins.
do the muffins as well.
I wanted
That
the
was
I
so
wanted
fun.
the
And-
matcha one, but we'll do the muffins.
What for
Okay.
that one? I feel like it's just like 2 seconds. You're like, yeah, just do that, and then
Well, then let's just answer
That
it.
one was kind of boring. Kiara, you can.
Do you want to answer it, Kiara?
Are you
Go ahead
matcha?
and answer it.
Yeah, I want to
Matcha
answer.
or espresso? Okay.
Well, okay. I will answer. Sorry.
Okay.
I want to answer it.
I do want to answer, so I'm going to interject and answer. I will say that I've been in a matcha season lately.
Mhm.
I've been in my matcha era.
Mhm.
You knew it, Mary.
Me too. Yes.
I kid you not. A strawberry matcha half sweet with oat milk is
Mm.
to die for.
Mm.
And there's this
Chokehold.
amazing coffee shop here in Charlotte that does like, I probably could drink 2 of those a day all
Yeah.
spring and not get tired
If they're
of
not
them.
$7.
Yeah, if I literally wouldn't go broke after the second day. But I will say right now, matcha, I will say probably in the fall I would revert back to latte. But
Sure.
This
Yeah,
is an
that's my-
indefinite.
Matcha has a
This
nice
is an indefinite
refresh.
answer.
It
oh
is.
God,
You have to pick
if
one
it's
or the other.
indefinite, then I'm gonna choose latte because that's just like classic and
Mhm.
timeless.
Old reliable.
But right
Sure.
now, matcha.
That's not the
I'm
question.
so glad that you
though.
answered
It's not
that.
the question, though.
Okay, well, shush.
Muffins. And you can. I'm going to tell you 2 things. You can pick 2 different kinds of muffins,
Okay.
and they regrow every day.
Oh man.
Whoa,
That's
that's a lot for my
fucking
mind to take in. Okay, so your
gross.
hands are muffins.
I've heard so many people say the same one answer, and I'm curious to know if either of you are going to say that.
Okay,
answer.
I have mine.
Okay.
My right hand would be a chocolate muffin with chocolate chips, and my left hand would be a blueberry muffin.
That is so daring. That's so daring, Casey. And I'm going to tell you why that's so daring. Every single article of clothing you own is going to get so stained. So stained.
I already spill.
chips
I
and
already
blueberries?
spill constantly. It doesn't matter.
That's wild. When you said, I
Oh
know that you're
my.
right-handed. When you said your right hand is chocolate chip, I was like, man, that's smearing. That's
Well,
smearing
I mean,
everywhere.
I'm not
But
gonna
I-
write.
but I
I'm
respect
not
it.
expected to write when I have muffin hands. That's literally impossible.
You're correct.
So
You're
I'm
correct.
gonna have everyone else
I
do everything
respect
for me
that
while I'm not on my hands.
so much. I love it. I
just
love it.
Eating them muffins.
Okay, Kiara.
Okay, for me,
Don't say brand.
I'm gonna go with a coffee cake.
Ooh,
Specifically on
I
my
like.
right because I'm more mobile on my right, and I think that I would enjoy eating that the most.
Okay.
On my left, I'm gonna say a lemon poppy seed.
I'm not even shocked.
No, is that
I'm literally
is
not
that
even
an
shocked.
answer you thought?
So, okay, the combination that I hear that not everyone, obviously, neither of you picked this combination, but it's my combination.
Everyone.
And I've heard every group that I've asked this, someone has said this exact combination. Right hand lemon poppy seed or whatever your dominant hand is, so it's not smearing, and it's one of the best muffins ever. Like it's I would say 60% of people say that that's their favorite muffin. And
Shoot.
whoever has a lemon poppy seed muffin on hand. The scarcity makes it so good. But anyways, right hand, lemon poppy seed muffin. Left hand is blueberry. It's in your non-dominant hand so that you don't get super stainy.
See, I did not even think
No,
of the
I didn't
staining
think of the
part.
stain
just
either. I thought,
wanted
what
the
do I want to
taste.
eat?
No, because you're walking around. I know you're not going to be able to use your hands, but you're still going to like try and like pick stuff up. Like you can like
Honestly, I
grab
think what I
things,
would
you know?
do is just eat my muffins right away in the morning
and have stems.
and have stems all day.
Have nubs.
Just arms.
Like my
Nubs for
breakfast.
hands.
That's
My breakfast is my right hand, and my lunch is my left, and then my dinner.
I forget. I think Noah, was it your sister that said she'd pick a bran muffin because it's durable?
Stop.
Huh? No, he's the one. He said he'd pick a bran muffin because it's durable. He feels like he could do stuff with it because it's like hard.
You know,
Yeah, I mean, just eat your hands
I had a
off.
thought.
Just
but-
eat them off.
He's a utility man though.
See, I think I would just like to lay in bed and just eat my muffins. Like, I don't know if I had muffins for hands, if I would want to do anything. And so then I would eat them, and then I would
Would you
just
not
lay
be put
there.
on like some sort of program where they would like help you because of your disability of muffin hands? Like,
Yeah, I would just.
You
sit
wouldn't
and
have to
watch
work.
Muffin. I would sit and watch muffin hand videos, and
I would say watch muffins
about
all
it.
day. Just muffins.
just
all
muffins.
day.
Muffins.
Wait, so what is your
Boya.
answer? What did you
Paperclip.
say, or did you already say it?
Me?
Yeah.
Mine is
Yeah, she
that
said
way,
it.
the lemon poppy seed and blueberry. It's the
Oh.
one that I hear the most, and I think, or it's the only combination that I've heard repeated. I should say.
Did anyone else say coffee cake? Am I unique?
I feel like we're almost making an exception for you to even say that because you're literally saying
Why?
coffee
Well,
cake.
I feel like coffee cake is kind of like a banana bread. Like it's just a bread or a cake that is made into muffin form.
Yeah.
I will let
you're literally
I
just
say it
eating
counts.
coffee cake in the shape of a muffin. That's all I'm hearing.
Yeah,
It's kind
but
of
I've
like
definitely
it's
had
like
that before.
cornbread. Like, am I gonna say cornbread? Even though like Noah's mom makes that in a muffin tin, so it could be a corn muffin. You know.
I'm gonna stand by my answer.
Whatever.
I like
Stand by it. Have
honestly.
fun.
I think
Have fun with
it
your
is-
coffee cake every
it is
single day.
delicious.
I hope
think
it's
great.
I hope it's dry.
It's gonna be crunchy and it's gonna be so moist and it's gonna be the best muffin that I've ever had in my life.
Okay.
And on
Period.
that note, we've been here for 2 hours,
Oh.
and I drank this whole.
Matcha lemonade.
Okay, you
Of matcha
barely had
lemonade,
any left.
And I'm gonna.
I've
Absolutely
had one
burst.
of these all day. That's terrible. And there's
I've
still
had a
stuff in
glass
there.
of wine.
Yeah, not good.
This has been fun. Well, thank you guys for joining
was
our
a good
podcast
one, yeah.
episode. And join us next week
Come
for
back.
another one.
Okay, and if this wasn't
Come
your like cherry on top, I don't know. Maybe that's not what I wanted to say, but if this wasn't your thing,
If this wasn't your vibe,
listen, we have something for you. Okay,
We have so many things to talk
we
about.
have so many
just
vibes. This is just
keep coming
one of
back.
them. So just keep
coming
just-
back.
Just try it again. Just try it again.
And follow us on social media. And if you have like a suggestion for a topic that you think could be fun for us to talk about,
Yeah.
let us know.
Hey, because we know how to talk. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
No, we could talk all night, but we just want to
Yep.
loop you guys into it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thanks for joining us. Follow us on
All right.
Instagram.
What's our Instagram?
It's Been Forever
What's our
Podcast.
Instagram again? Oh yeah, you just said it.
Yeah. What is it?
It's Been Forever Podcast.
Oh, okay.
And I
There you
think
go.
that's it.
And we
That's
have
the
a we
handle.
have a Gmail too. Like if you want to email us or something, like you can.
It's beenforever.pod@gmail.com. Is that right?
It's been forever pod@gmail.com.
Let us know your muffin
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah, let us know
Yeah.
what muffins you would
Mhm.
have for hands.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, that was
All
fascinating.
right.
Well,
Well,
thank
well,
you. Yeah.
what a great time we've
yes,
had.
love
Yeah.
you both.
We'll see you all next week.
Yeah. Love.
Yes,
So much love.
Love, love.
so much love.
Love.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.